thing. He re-released it as if it was a new thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. Did he remaster it in some way or?
No, I think he literally just like straight up re-released it as like a new song.
So, okay, now this happens from time to time. So, in the music industry, a lot of times producers will
Hmm.
have, somebody who produces an album will have a chunk of royalties on it. In the case, like one of my friends, like she had a contract that basically stated that that this album that she wrote, that she recorded, that she played every instrument on, but he was the producer. His contract basically stated that he got like half the royalties or something like 50 or 60% of the royalties. It was a ridiculous contract. So I forgot what the
Okay.
exact thing was, but he got like a crap ton of the royalties on it. So, because I remember her asking me, it's like, how do I get out of this contract? And I said, well, is his credit on writing the song or his royalty based on being the producer on the song? It's like, well, he doesn't have credit for writing it, but he has credit for producer. And so every time we use that song, he gets a chunk of it. And it's like, so what would happen if you went back and re-engineered the song from the original master tapes that you recorded with all your stuff before he ever touched it? Then he's omitted from it. So you could actually go back, do a remastered version of your song, and re-release it. And now, because what happened was, is one of her songs got optioned or whatever to be used in like a car ad or something.
Yeah.
So there was suddenly a boatload of money on the line, and this guy was trying to get it all, and
Yeah.
take it from her. And so she's like, I can't, and she's she was a teenager when she signed the contract. Or when she started recording with this guy. So I think it was like by teenager I mean she was like 18 or 19. So
Still young in that
yeah,
industry.
but then the song got picked up and was used in a car ad or something, and he tried getting you know all the money from it or a bunch of the money from it, and so she's like, oh hell no. And so I remember consulting her on that. Just what is the wording in the contract, and if it allows, just remaster the songs. Like you own the writing of the songs. He
Yeah.
owns the engineering of the songs. So just go back and re-engineer from your original recordings, or even better yet, just re-record the album. Re-record the songs on your own. And she did that. She went back, re-recorded her songs, mixed in some of the stuff she had from tapes that she had made before she hooked up with the guy, and yeah, so then now she sold that version to the car company.
X.
So it was kind of cool, but yeah, so there are things like that. So I also know that I think Taylor Swift at one point did that as well,
Yes, I
to get
remember
out of a
that's
record
very.
contract or something. She basically re-recorded her early albums to
Mhm.
separate her from the contract, because again, they owned the engineering and the production on it. And she's like, well, I sing these things, I wrote these songs, I sing them all the time live, I could just re-record them.
Yeah.
And so she just went back and re-recorded all her old stuff and re-released them as new material or new versions of old material or whatnot. So yeah, but of course the lead singer of Creed, I've heard some horrible things about his ego, so it's entirely possible he's just all like, nobody will notice.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of stories. I know someone,
I
I
don't
can't
know
remember
him, so
who
I
it
can't really
is.
speak about
I'm
him.
gonna
So
feel stupid if it's you. Someone actually knows like his nephew or someone like that,
that one
and
wasn't
I've
me.
heard, huh?
I said I don't think that was me. I don't think I know his nephew.
Oh, there's someone I know who like knows his nephew like tangentially, like has talked with him before, not like good friends, but have interacted with them, and he has heard some stories about like family interactions.
I
And
could
yeah,
tell
the
you some
guy,
shit.
if those stories are to believe, the guy is a major douche.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing in some of those, and in the entertainment industry in general, you occasionally get those people who they believe their own hype,
Yeah.
self-important, something. I don't know.
Well, I the issue is that no matter who it is, in no matter what profession, anywhere, uh, they're a human being. and human beings are tend to make mistakes and flaws and have vices and stuff like that. And so, we see these like stars and celebrities and like, oh, they're something more, when no, they might have uncontrollable urges for junk food, prone to anger issues. They're just regular people. There are some people who are just jerks.
Did we ever figure out why Winona Ryder robbed that store? For some reason, it's like, maybe they're kleptomaniacs. I just remembered like Winona Ryder got arrested for like shoplifting, and it's all like, really? Yeah. You're worth millions of dollars. Why are you shoplifting?
Well, that's the thing.
Or was it a misunderstanding? Because it could have been a cop who's just all like, hey, famous person, and she panics, leaves the room or something, and has something in her hands. Now she gets arrested for, because I've seen that. I've actually seen that where, hell, I've actually done it where I walked out of a store one time holding something, forgetting that I had it. And I was just holding it in my hands. I was like, oh shit, I've got this thing. I walked back in and gave it to them. I said, sorry, I just walked out with this. It's not mine.
I've done that too. I was going to Grossmont College, and I was getting a lock for my locker. And I was looking at some really other stuff because whenever I go to a store, if I see art supplies, even if they're, Crayola art supplies, I go and take a look. And I started walking to my class and realized I still had the lock in my hand. I'm like, oh, shit. Went back and paid for it. The person at the counter was like, you could have just kept going and we would never have said anything. We didn't even know. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not that type of person.
It's like, but I would have.
Yeah, exactly.